Maggie said, this book has a light touch. It's a light-hearted journey where I try to maybe show you something about the Vietnamese spirit and the Vietnamese people who are so beloved to me. And it's a place which has changed my life forever, thanks to Tan. And so there's lots of laughs. And when I told my sister, I told my sister I was writing a book, and she said, please don't put anything in it about going to the toilet. Because in my family, within 5 minutes of meeting, we're discussing our toilet habits. If you flick to a chapter called Feeding the Chickens, you'll see that I broke that promise. But it's not something that I can read in public. Sorry, Maggie. Maggie's always trying to get me to, you know. Tell them the chicken story, Walter. So I'll read you something a little more transcendent. And this to me is it's very short, don't you worry. But this is a little snapshot of what I find so beautiful about Vietnam. One day my friend from the monastery took me on a day trip to Yung Hau, a beach resort just outside of Ho Chi Minh City that once bore the infinitely more romantic name of Cap Saint-Jacques. This is where all Saigonese, even monks, dream of coming to relax. It is a longish trip with frequently bad traffic conditions. We found ourselves arriving back at the monastery a little late, having been held up in the hellish traffic on the city's outskirts. Considering the time, my friend told me I could stay at the monastery, and a suitable place was found for me to sleep on a little terrace housing a shrine to Amitabha. Amitabha is the Buddha of the Western paradise and a great object of devotion for most Vietnamese Buddhists. The shrine was busy, with its big blaster statue of the Buddha, his hands outstretched, and a little collection of minor deities at his feet. There were fruit and flowers, and a large porcelain pot painted with Chinese characters for holding incense. It was outdoors, but a mosquito net was rigged up for me. After much fuss sorting out the direction toward which my feet should be pointed, not toward any shrines, not toward the abbot's rooms, and not toward any of the monks' quarters, I settled down for the night on my breezy little veranda high up in the monastery, looking out over Ho Chi Minh City's lights. I drifted off to sleep for what must have been 3 hours at most. At 3:30, the temple's novices woke up and dusted down the shrines, ready to sound the bell at 4 for the rest of the monks to rise. No one had been warned of my presence on the Amitabha terrace, so the sight of my rotund form dozing away in front of the shrine must have appeared faintly miraculous. One of the two of the novices may have thought I was an apparition of Yilap, the fat laughing Buddha of the future. I woke to find myself surrounded by giggling novices, wiping down the altar and offering new sticks of incense to the Buddha. Then one of the boys reached up to the altar and plucked a persimmon from the offerings there and wordlessly handed it to me. I sat up on the cool tiles and ate it, breathing in the fresh incense smoke and listening to the dawn temple bell. I was struck by his simple kindness, by the kindness constantly shown by people who had no reason to be interested in me or my journey. There was such a generous simplicity in this offering of food. It was a supremely human moment, a celebration of the connection of one person to another. Sitting on that freshly swept terrace, with persimmon juice on my chin, I was reminded that it was almost always the small, the momentary, that is most significant. In that second, your understanding shifts, and the world is the same no longer. These little moments of realization are added to the litany of small, life-changing secrets that we reflect on again and again. So I hope my little book might just be another of those little spiritual secrets between you and me and hopefully several tens of thousands of others. Bless you all and thank you for coming tonight.